You won't believe the gigantic news that Faith Evans just dropped about Diddy. If you thought you had seen it all, turns out that we were just warming up, because the whole Diddy saga started way back. Faith Evans just spilled some real tea about her ex-husband, the Notorious B.I.G, aka Biggie Smalls, who quote unquote was one of Diddy's best friends and signees.
Me and his mom feel like we know what happened, and we really feel like we know it may never be served. We know justice may never be served.
But what do you think actually happened?
Well, we know he was murdered, but we believe that the LAPD knows who's responsible. That's what we believe.
Y'all have probably heard the rumors that Diddy might have or might not have had something to do with the death of Biggie, one of his closest friends. But did you also hear the Diddy dirty details of how he stole Biggie's masters? Faith Evans just dropped a whole new view on the whole thing, and believe me when I say it's bound to leave you spinning in shock. But what's the update anyway? Did Biggie discover the truth about Diddy's villainous character? Is that why he suddenly decided to expose himself? And did Puff find out about the whole thing and shut it all down by unaliving him? Keep watching, folks, cause we're about to break this down real quick. I'll admit it that it's rather surprising that Faith Evans is finally speaking out against Diddy after years of insisting that he had nothing to do with Biggie's death. I mean, who am I kidding? Even I didn't see that one coming. Back when everyone was blaming Diddy for Biggie's death, Faith kept insisting that Diddy would never harm Biggie.
And the controversy that he might have been involved in Big's death. Have you ever heard anything like that?
I mean, of course I have. I live in this century.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've heard that.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts, what I know is that Puff would never have Big killed. Puff would never be involved in murdering one of his best friends. Mm-hmm. That's outside of him being his artist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was like, their relationship was something that I don't have that relationship with Puff's.
Faith, like everybody else, was fooled into thinking that Diddy is the good guy because he even went to extra lengths to end their ongoing beef, because apparently Biggie cheated on Faith with Lil' Kim right in her own living room. Insane, right?
How you walked in the bedroom on your husband in bed with Lil' Kim. Hold on, because I always wanted to know this. But you didn't describe to us, did Lil' Kim sashay to the bathroom like this?
Oh my God.
Or did she sit there next to your husband like, and what you gonna do? Or did she run? Like what happened?
Well, were any of my faithfuls in here that got my book, I describe it in much detail.
Tell us.
In my memoir. None of the above. Let's just say I was there for the rest of the day cooking Christmas dinner,
You fist fought.
Although I knew that was like
that.
one of the last times I'd spent with him like that.
Yes.
But in my book, I talked about it in detail.
Okay, I have to go back and look. All right, and then the other thing about Lil' Kim, it's been so many years now. Mm-hmm. Do you find it in yourself to be able to make up with her?
But guess what happened afterward? Brother Love decided to step in like the do-gooder he is and settle the whole thing.
Puff trying to get you and Kim to talk again.
No, that's not accurate.
That's what it looked like.
It's funny that when we walked in there, the cameras were rolling, and certain people didn't realize, and nobody did until they started saying, do these interviews. And I'm like, an interview? Who's doing it? Who's producing it? What is these cameras? Am I getting paid? Da-da-da. Boom.
So you didn't even know it was a documentary?
No, I was going to talk to Kim on the humbug. That was just me and C's sitting on the speaker, and I wanted to talk to her anyway. I'm like, where's she at? Oh, she over there? I'm about to go talk to her. The cameras just happened to be everywhere. So if it was my camera, no, I'm not, no shade. It's a great depiction, but no, that wasn't Puff's idea for me to talk to Kim. I was working on The King and I had reached out to her already, but I didn't see her, and that's when I wanted to go talk to her face to face.
Well, I'm just now starting the process of building a relationship with her.
It couldn't help but be on camera because the cameras was everywhere.
But I don't know her like I know.
And then I was like, well, how much y'all paying me?
You sound like hustle man voice.
Down to be $89 and 88 cents.
Hustle man voice.
No, like I said, I'm just starting the process of building a relationship with her, but I don't know her. I know you, but just being able to watch it, whether it was TMZ cameras everywhere.
Well, I just wanted to correct it because it wasn't Puff that made me and Kim talk.
I appreciate it.
So wait, what?
Wait, can I ask a question? Okay.
Perhaps this nice guy shown from Diddy got her thinking that he was someone she could trust until she found out the real truth about what had been going on behind closed doors. She recently spoke of how heartbroken she was after learning that Diddy was aware of Biggie's affair with Lil' Kim, who was also a member of Bad Boy Records at the time, but chose not to inform her. Kim, on the other hand, acted as though they were merely working on a song together and nothing more, but it turns out that there were a couple other soundtracks being played in the bedroom. After portraying Diddy as the good guy for all these years, Faith finally changed her mind and decided to speak the truth. No one knows what really sparked the change of heart, but I guess seeing Diddy exposed by so many people, it did the job. Right now, Faith is spilling the beans, and she starts by saying that Diddy harmed several of her musicians. She spoke out on how she'd observed Diddy punching the women, but he was too afraid to punch the guys. Because, let's be honest, men like Diddy prey on women because they can't handle anyone their own size. But hold on for a second, isn't that what we saw with Cassie, who was not just Diddy's ex, but also his signee? Faith also said that Diddy was not friendly with his artists, despite what he liked to say in the media. This makes sense since he was supposedly stealing a lot of money from them. She also said that Biggie told her that Diddy never saw his artists as people, but as tools he could use to get what he wanted and then throw them away. I mean, just take a look at how he pitched Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans against each other. Mary J. Blige had a serious argument with Diddy about her masters and how he treated her and the other artists much worse than animals, so he decided to call it quits. But just a few months later, he came up with a new signee by the name of Faith Evans, and she soon became the next big thing in town. People started connecting the dots and described her as a modern-day Mary J. Blige, but here's what Mary J. had to say about the whole thing.
Mary J. Blige. I don't know, can run out and get how many girl groups and turn their hat backwards and fix their hair like mine, but they'll never be me because I'm just me, and I don't act out Mary.
It's no secret that the Bad Boy artists bore no love for each other, contrary to Diddy's boast. He often let his artists compete with one another, like he did with Biggie and Craig Mack. Craig's breakthrough occurred when he ran across Diddy at the famed Mecca nightclub in Manhattan. Imagine this, during his attempt to make Bad Boy Records famous, Diddy overhears Craig spitting a freestyle. Diddy did not hesitate to sign Craig to Bad Boy Records after being impressed by his abilities. Afterwards, Craig released his massively popular single, Flavor in Your Ear, which blew him to fame and earned him Grammy nominations. Since the original version of the song was so popular, Diddy decided to create a remix including new artists like Biggie Smalls. The remix also became an instant hit. Craig and Biggie Smalls were not friends, despite Diddy's best efforts to portray them as such. As it turned out, they were completely incompatible. Biggie went so far as to confess that he was under Diddy's pressure to approve the remix even though he wasn't a fan of it. Even Craig wasn't very happy about it, but you can't say no when Diddy is in charge. They were supposedly the ones that held Bad Boy Records in check, and Diddy went so far as to call them his foundations. As for Faith, she was totally unprepared for Kim's betrayal. The fact that Biggie treated Kim differently than everyone else was something that Faith couldn't turn a blind eye to. It was neither preferential treatment nor bias. In her memoir, Faith said that Biggie was severely abusive towards herself, her female friends, and even Kim. Looks like the history of violence was basically ingrained into the DNA of the men at Bad Boy Records. According to Faith, she had once overheard Biggie when he got so angry with Lil' Kim that he threatened to fire her from Junior Mafia and replace her with Foxy Brown, thereby ending her career. It was exceptionally cruel of Biggie to use Foxy as a threat against Kim, especially while she was having beef with Foxy, which is why Faith thought Biggie despised Kim too much to be involved with her. Eventually, Faith, who was far from stupid, began to add and subtract and noticed that the numbers didn't add up. Additionally, Faith disclosed that Kim had an attitude towards her and never truly liked her, for reasons that Faith could never fathom. You said that at a white party, you actually walked up to Kim and congratulated her on her success, and she said, "Who's that?" "Yeah, I did." Do you think that Kim actually didn't know who you were, or do you think that was just shade at that point? I definitely think that was shade. I'm sure she knows pretty much what I look like at this point. Faith's suspicions were eventually confirmed when she caught Lil' Kim in bed with Biggie on Christmas Eve. In her memoir, she revealed that she immediately started beating on Kim, even though she couldn't see her face because she was under the covers. I grabbed some chick out of the bed and started beating her. At some point, the chick's wig came off in my hand. It was a short cropped wig. I stopped throwing punches for a minute to get a good look at the chick I was beating up. It was Lil' Kim. She was completely butt naked, yelling as I pushed her around the room. Yikes, talk about embarrassing. But the wild part about this is that Kim was not remorseful for her action because she tried to get back at Faith. Faith said, when I left a few hours later to get the kids, I noticed that Kim had taken my key to my Land Cruiser and scratched up my entire car from the hood to the back bumper. In an old interview, she spoke about the relationship saying, "He became my friend, my lover, my everything. I was his biggest fan. He knew I would be the biggest female rapper. I think I inspired him to want to do different things and be different. We were a match made in heaven." When she says she inspired him to try new things, she wasn't just talking about music. As for Faith, Kim's portrayal didn't even ping on her radar. She never imagined she would be blindsided like that. I didn't know anything about them for at least a year and a half after we were together. She said, "I didn't even think anything about them, to be quite honest." One thing that Faith couldn't ignore was how differently Biggie treated Kim compared to everyone else around him. It wasn't favoritism or better treatment. Faith revealed in her memoir that Biggie was actually quite harsh towards Kim. She recounted instances where he would yell at her, even threatening to end her career by booting her out of Junior Mafia. I once heard him screaming at her at his mother's house, although I had no idea why. "You think you're special?" he screamed. "I go get Inga right now," while Kim cried. Big kept yelling at her, "We don't need you for this group. Inga would be happy to be down. You ain't special," he said. "I will replace you with the quickness. Don't forget that." The Inga Biggie mentioned is rapper Foxy Brown, which adds an extra layer of cruelty to the situation. Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim already had some beef between them, so it was particularly harsh of Biggie to use Foxy as a threat against Kim, especially considering they were having an affair. This deceit helped them keep the relationship hidden from Faith, who believed Biggie disliked Kim too much to be involved with her. Faith wasn't dumb, and she soon started adding 2 and 2 together and realized that the math wasn't exactly mathing. I do recall one time with him finding out she was at her apartment and him telling me that's not cool. But I mean, why wouldn't it be cool? You know what I mean? So anyway, you know, but still, when you're not looking for stuff, you just ain't going to see it. I mean, you know what I mean? I wasn't looking for that. But here's where it all gets crazy. Remember how we talked about Diddy pitching his artists against each other? Faith claims that Biggie revealed a stunning secret to her before he died. According to him, Diddy allegedly tried to use her in his feud against Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur during the East Coast and West Coast beef era. The feud between Diddy and Suge Knight, which sparked a long-lasting feud between best friends Biggie Smalls and Tupac, is pretty popular. There was a lot of back and forth between the two camps, including an incident where Baby Lane allegedly stole a Death Row necklace from Trayvon Lane, who was in Tupac's entourage, supposedly ordered by Diddy. Tragically, Baby Lane was jumped because Trayvon had recognized him that night at the MGM Plaza. Unfortunately, Tupac Shakur died because of what happened that night. Things reportedly spiraled out of control after Tupac and the rest of Death Row insinuated that he had an affair with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans, in order to get back at Biggie and Diddy. Now, Faith is saying that Diddy approved of it. Supposedly, he felt that Biggie was becoming too sensitive because of Faith's influence and wanted to end their relationship. The exact nature of Biggie's softness remains a mystery given the abundance of accounts and testimony from those who saw him physically abuse women in his life. But I guess he just wasn't hard enough for Diddy. After this happened, some people claimed Biggie had joined a gang, but this was never proven. Tupac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith claims that Tupac had planned out the entire thing right from when he was in prison, so it was not an accident or an impulsive decision. He was considering several options for how to get back at Biggie. He had the impression that Biggie had been unfaithful or had set him up, not protecting him to the extent that he ought to have. As a result, he began to formulate a plan to destroy him lyrically. Let me spill the beans real quick on Tupac's strategy. Apparently, he didn't care much who he slept with as long as he hurt Biggie. He had first set his sights on Lil' Kim, but later changed his mind. Countless people knew that Biggie was unfaithful to Faith Evans, his wife, by having an affair with Lil' Kim. Rumor has it that Diddy suggested Tupac change his focus to Faith instead. Considering Biggie's infidelity in the past, he worried that she could be more likely to cheat on him. Everyone is mired in deceit and treachery, and the situation is chaotic. It's clear that Diddy is a strategist because Tupac switched from Kim to Faith. He wasn't interested in a casual hookup, rather he planned to hit Biggie where it stung the most. To him, Kim appeared like she would be more faithful to Biggie because ain't nothing like a woman scorned. Diddy assumed Faith would be more fragile in the two. Tupac wanted to hurt Biggie, so he didn't care whoever it was. Tupac took advantage of Faith and slept with her after they ran into each other at a party. For very some time, Faith continually denied the rumors, dismissing them as idle chatter. She claims that the rumor that she and Tupac were more than just friends is completely unfounded. In interviews, she has made her position quite plain, saying that they were never romantically involved. She mentioned an instance when Tupac supposedly reached out to her during an interview. His 1996 single, Wonder Why They Call You B, featured Faith's vocals, and she said that incident occurred with her in the studio. She made it clear that she was completely unaware of Tupac's ties to Death Row Records when this happened. She maintained that she would never have worked with him if she had been aware of the animosity between her label, Bad Boy Records, and Death Row. Faith naively entered this ideal situation, oblivious to the fact that she was being utilized as a pawn. She explained her perspective, saying, "When I met Tupac, I was actually in LA trying to get work as a writer. I was out here writing with a producer on his new group, staying with them in their apartment. We just happened to go out that night to the Hollywood Athletic Club. This was between my first and second album." Y'all know what's petty about this? It's that Diddy then refused to sign off on a song, so it was never released. Talk about a petty move. Several people have come out to insist that Faith really did sleep with Bond. Reggie Wright, who was head of security at Death Row, said,
"What was y'all reaction when Tupac dropped Hit 'Em Up?"
When he dropped Hit 'Em Up, our reaction was, damn! Damn. Whoo. Hey, it's cracking now. Hey, it's cracking now. When Hit 'Em Up dropped, cuz that was around the time everything was fresh. It was fresh. Yeah, Tupac and Biggie was fresh. Because this was after Faith came to the studio. You know, we was all looking like, damn. Like, that's Faith, cuz. Then he made Hit 'Em Up.
You might be asking why Biggie finally told Faith the truth about Diddy's shady behavior. I can say for sure that it wasn't because he felt bad about it. Diddy is said to have started making moves on Biggie, which quickly turned into abuse. Faith said Diddy gave Biggie drugs and tried to sexually assault him. He got pretty close, but Biggie was able to get away. There's this story going around about how Biggie was attempting to escape Bad Boy Records with his masters and other big artists, and Diddy supposedly had him killed. A lot of people said that Diddy got scared, which is why they said he had Biggie killed. Uncle Ron, Diddy's other bodyguard, even stepped out to say that Diddy wanted to take Biggie out and had offered him $30,000 to do it.
$30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Well, Faith is now asserting that Biggie was attempting to flee and was also plotting to expose Diddy for his undercover behavior, which drove Diddy to organize his murder. Combs was the one who put Biggie up for the death row. What a shame. This is a hot, shocking mess, but y'all let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below, and make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more engaging videos like this.